Hey guys, welcome to the Farmer's Table. I'm Jess, and I'm happy to have you here in my kitchen today, where I'm going to go through my Azure standard order. I save a lot of money by buying bulk and keeping a very stocked pantry. That looks different month to month. If you're unfamiliar with what Azure standard is, it's a company that allows consumers like myself to purchase bulk. You can save money. Some things are not cheaper on Azure by any means, but some things definitely are. And if you live in a place like I do, very rurally, that I do not have close access to a grocery store that carries organic and whole foods, it's a nice option because I'm able to get things from them that I cannot simply just go to a store and buy. The closest store that would carry some of the brands that Azure carries is over an hour away. I did a video last month sharing my Azure haul, and it was a really big one. I got a lot of stuff last month. This month is much smaller. I spent a little over $200. Because I have storage space, we do have a pantry, a building that we converted into a pantry, and I am planning on doing a tour of that. I typically will buy cases of things if I always check the shelf life on them, but if I know we can get through it within the shelf life, I will always buy the case because that brings the price down. And at this point, I have bought cyclically for so long. It did take years to build up to being at that point, but I'm saving money by buying a whole case versus buying one. And it also saves me time because I don't have to worry about running out of things all the time. So I'm just going to go through what I bought. And I'm going to tell you why I bought it because I think that can be really helpful. I know it's helpful for me when I hear other people's reasoning. The first thing is I have this 5-pound case of frozen raspberries. Of course, it's winter time. Technically, it's still autumn, but we're very close to it being winter. Berries are not growing. If I were to go to the grocery store right now and buy a little package of berries, they would be the most expensive that they're going to be the entire year, and they wouldn't be nearly as good because those were probably force grown in some greenhouse, or they were grown across the world and then shipped, and so they're not going to taste very good, and they're going to cost way more than usual. Now, I like to buy frozen berries if I'm going to consume berries in the off season because these were likely picked more at prime because they weren't having to be shipped to be sold fresh, and they're frozen right away, right after they're picked. So buying frozen fruits and vegetables, if you're going to buy things in the off season, it is more economical, but it's also, you're getting a better quality product. You're getting the food that tastes like it's supposed to. So my plan with the frozen berries is to have these for like yogurt parfaits for breakfast. I will put these in like muffins, into baked goods, and they can go in smoothies. We will easily get through this 5-pound package of berries, but if I ever found myself with excess that I needed to do something with, I could easily turn these into jam, or I could freeze dry them and we could snack on them that way. I have this tub of cream cheese. I will really like this cream cheese. It's the Sierra Nevada organic farmhouse cream cheese. It's very plain. If you've only ever had like the block cream cheese from the grocery store, this is a little different. It's drier and a little like cakier, flakier, but it's really good, especially if you want to like mix it with raspberries, mix it together to spread on toast or a bagel. I really like this. I only buy it every few months. This is something that's a pretty regular purchase for me from Azure. I got one little block of Parmesan cheese. We've been in this challenge for the last couple of months of not going to the grocery store. We've been using what we have from our pantry, from our farm, and what I've gotten from bulk orders like Azure. The thing that we've really run low on is hard cheeses, and so I just got one little thing. Normally I would buy this at Costco. I think it's probably cheaper at Costco than it is from here, but I was out, so that's why we got this. The next thing I grabbed was this Greek yogurt starter. Now, I make yogurt from our cow's milk, and typically I will do that with a cup of the last batch of yogurt that we had. Given the not going to the grocery store situation, I didn't have any yogurt. We ran out. It all got used. And so I just decided I would use this opportunity. I've never bought one of their starters. They have multiple cheese starters. This is thermophilic culture Greek yogurt starter. They have multiple options at Azure, but I've never gone that route because I never needed them. Thought I would give it a shot. Here I have a case of organic cream of mushroom condensed soup. Now, I will tell you, cream soups are very easy to make. In most cases, if I am cooking in a recipe that calls for a cream soup, I just go ahead and make it with a base of making a roux, adding in the cream. Usually I keep like some bouillon paste, like organic bouillon paste that I'll add in to make cream soup from scratch to go in the recipe. However, the benefit of something like this that's just made, that I feel good about the ingredients, is that when I need like a fast dinner, for instance, I will do pork chops in a crock pot and I'll put a couple of cans of cream soup over it. At that moment, I really want convenience. So on a month like this, where I really don't have anything pressing that I really need to bulk my pantry, and there's not anything that's pressing, I don't need anything, I've got the budget still there. Now I could save that for next month when I really need it, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll buy things, for instance like the berries, which are kind of a luxury, the things like the cream soups. This is just a convenience food item. The sell by date on these is this time next year, so this is a 12 pack. And it will probably take me about a year to get through this, because even though these may be sitting in my pantry, if I've got the time, I'll go ahead and make the cream soup from scratch in a recipe, and I'll save these for the times that I need to really put something in a crock pot or make something really quick and I need a convenience. And that's what I invested in this month, was some convenience. A couple other things. So again, these were something that I will not commonly buy. Several months ago, I purchased the dried lemons from Azure. And I can't even remember what it was that I bought them for. I'm on, like, there's an Azure Facebook group and some different things, and I'll see people talking about things sometimes. I'm like, I'm gonna try that. And then they came in and I was like, what did I get this for again? But I found I really love having these for making like drinks. Let me see if I can show you. They're just dried lemon slices. Of course you could make these relatively simply. I thought they were pretty affordable. I don't have to make them, they're already made. And it's just dried lemons. That's all that's in it, is organic lemons. And I also got the oranges this time. And I made like a spiced simple syrup for holiday drinks at Thanksgiving. And I put the dried lemons in them. We've done like hot toddies, and I'll put one of these in there. I've not had the oranges, but I keep seeing people posting like simmer pots and stuff like that. We do wassail, which is like a hot cider punch. And I thought these would just be really nice to have to throw in something like that if you're making a hot cup of tea. We've really enjoyed having the dried lemons to put in. So we're almost out of the dried lemons we had. This time I sprung for the oranges as well. Of course, these are gonna last a really long time. And they were just, I've really enjoyed having those. So I went ahead and re-upped those. Next thing, this is a 5-pound bag of white chocolate chips. And it is the allergen-free ones, so they don't have any corn products in them. My son Jackson is 18. His favorite holiday treat is peppermint bark, and that requires white chocolate chips. And I have found that many readily available white chocolate chips, for whatever reason, they have like maltodextrin and they have corn products in them. And so I saw these, I went ahead and bought them. I would have bought a smaller bag, but it was actually sold out. So I ended up with a 5-pound bag of these white chocolate chips. It'll end up going in our holiday baking. And I mean, obviously that's gonna last for a while. I did get one small package of these rice ramen noodles. This is another thing that if I were regularly going to the grocery store, Costco carries these, and I would normally buy them there. This has like 4 of the little cakes of dried ramen noodles. So if you were to buy like the cheap store ramen, like 4 of those packages, definitely cost more than the cheap store ramen. This is not nearly as cheap of a food. However, if you have kids that want to be able to make a quick meal for themselves, you can open a jar of canned broth, which we have that plentifully because I make that regularly. I can broth regularly, and start it simmering on the stove. Drop one of these in there and then add some seasonings. You can add an egg into it, whatever, and essentially make like a homemade ramen. So that's what this is, a ramen without all of the junk in it. I got a case of einkorn crackers, One of these is open because right as I was starting to film these videos, Ezra, my son, came in and sliced up some cheese. He was wanting a snack after school. And that's what I got these for. Again, you can make crackers very simply. A lot of store-bought crackers have junk in them, and so I don't buy a lot of those things because they just have a lot of preservatives and chemical ingredients that I'm not cool with. And whenever you buy a package of crackers like these, like the organic einkorn crackers, they're really expensive if they have them at your store. They do not have them at the stores close to me. And so by buying a case, this case was like $30-something, and I've got 12 boxes of crackers, which will go with like cheese for after school snacks, may even end up in lunches with like some cheese and some sliced ham or something like that. And that case will last us a little while. That's not a super regular purchase, and I don't always go for those. Usually I'll buy a case, and by the time we get through it, everybody's kind of over them. And then I'll wait some months before I buy another case. And then when I get it in, everybody's like, oh, crackers. We haven't had crackers for a while. So we've got to keep it fresh. I'll do that one last. I got this salmon, canned salmon. And I don't remember how I purchased this because I was just looking at the number of cans. And there are 8 cans. So I can't remember how I did this. I was expecting this to come sealed in a case. Sometimes Azure will repackage things. These were all loose in a box with other stuff. But this is wild pink salmon, canned salmon and canned tuna. I pretty routinely keep in stock. Of course, I do canned meats to be able to make fast meals. So I always have canned ground beef. And with canned ground beef, I can take that, dump it into a pan, let the liquid simmer off, and then I can put like spaghetti sauce in it, boil some noodles, and we have spaghetti for dinner. If I didn't thaw something out, that's just always in my back pocket. If you're gonna eat real food and not rely on a lot of convenience foods, you have to create your convenience. The thing for us, I know for a lot of people, it's like, oh, I didn't thaw anything out, let's order a pizza, or let's go eat at a restaurant. That's not a convenient option when you live like 20 to 30 minutes from town. By the time I get my kids all loaded up and we drive into town to go eat a restaurant, and then we drive home, it's late. It didn't really alleviate stress from me, so that's not really an option. I have to have some sort of convenience. So that's canned meats really help with that. And canned salmon, the main thing that I will do with canned salmon is make salmon patties, and I can make a video sharing that. It's just a nice thing to be able to throw together and I'll just make rice and some veggies on the side, and we'll just have salmon patties for dinner. And that's what I buy canned salmon for, primarily. If you have other ways that you like to use canned salmon, I'd love to hear them. But I got 8 cans of this. That'll last us a while. We don't eat that super frequently. I would say maybe I'll make salmon patties once every month or so, maybe even longer than that. All right, the last thing is I got this 1-pound package of radish seeds for sprouting. I'm a gardener, and whenever you are a gardener, buying seeds can be somewhat addicting. I thought this was really interesting, and Azure actually has multiple different kinds of bulk seeds for sprouting. So they actually have the instructions listed on here. Place in a roomy container such as a quart jar using up to 1 teaspoon of seeds, or a gallon jar using up to 3 tablespoons of seeds. Soak in warm water for 4 to 6 hours using enough water to keep the seeds covered, and then cover with loose woven fabric, nylon stocking or mesh secured down by elastic or rubber band. Rinse and thoroughly drain 2 to 3 times daily until sprouts are of desired length. The thing is with seeds is that these are radish seeds for sprouting. Now I could take these and go plant them in my garden and grow them and get whole radishes. I don't know what the variety would be, but I'm gonna try it and see what it is. I could also use these for microgreens if I wanted to grow microgreens, or I could do, as they said, sprouting. In the winter time, whenever, of course, I keep food growing out in my garden year round, but if you are not in a place where you can garden year round, doing sprouts and microgreens is awesome. And so the fact that they had affordable seeds by the pound to use for this, I thought was very, very intriguing. They had multiple different things that you could choose from. I got the radishes this time. I am going to put some of these out in one of my high tunnels just to see what the variety is. And then I may try some microgreens with them and try sprouting them as they said. So I was pretty excited to try that. I thought it was cool that they had it. And since I didn't have like a list of needs demanding my budget this month, that's why I decided to play around with some things like the yogurt starter and like the radish seeds. So that's my little haul. A little over $200 worth of groceries. Which, you know, I mean, I look at this small amount of food, I'm like, $200. But if I actually count up how much these individual items would have cost at the grocery store for these brands, like this cream of mushroom soup, if I were to go to Publix, I'd not only have to drive 45 minutes to get to the Publix. If they had a comparable brand of this cream of mushroom soup, it would probably be somewhere in the $4 to $5 range. And I think I paid somewhere in the $3 range each for these. And again, when you break all of these things down, I definitely saved money buying it this way. It's in my pantry. It's here when I need it. And next month, I may have to buy more necessities from Azure. But this month, I was able to add these things. I hope this helps you. I will put a link for Azure down below. I have a referral link for them that's available to anybody. If you want to sign up and then refer somebody, you'll have a referral link as well. I think you have to be savvy to shop and really save money when you're buying from places like this. Just because you're buying from a place like this doesn't mean it's healthy, and it doesn't mean that it's cheaper. But if you know grocery shopping well and you can save the time to purchase bulk from a place like this, you can save money, and you can definitely save a lot of time and have access to products that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. I hope this helps you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and bless you. Until next time.